Something's been pulling at you. You know what it is. And somewhere along the way, you picked up a belief that to actually do something about it, you'd have to blow everything you've already built. Quit the job, go all in, burn the boats. That's not a strategy, that's a movie plot. I built a brand inside a full career at Giorgio Armani. I didn't step away, I didn't take a break. I built it in the margins before I had a roadmap, before I had investors, before anyone around me could see what I was building. That's not the compromise version of this. That's the actual strategy. I want to show you what that looks like, and that's what this video is all about. But before I get into it, a quick word on why I can speak to this. In MOTU, a professional activewear brand, was built alongside my full career at Armani, where I led global creative direction. Same life, same demands, no sabbatical, and no stepping away. So what I'm sharing isn't a theory today. It's something I documented from the inside under the same conditions you're dealing with right now. Real quick, if you want the written version of what I cover on this channel, ATP Field Notes drops every Tuesday. Link is in the description below. It's a 5-minute read, no filler, just one insight you need for the week. All right, now let's talk about the all-in story and why it isn't just wrong, it's actually keeping you stuck. Every conversation about building something new starts with the same story. Quit your job, go all in, bet everything, leave the comfort zone, take the leap, burn all the boats. And when you hear that, when you really sit with it, it sounds courageous. It sounds like what bold people do. It sounds like that's what you're supposed to want to do. But here's the part of the story that nobody talks about. That story was written for someone who has nothing to lose. No offense, but someone who's 22 years old, renting a bedroom somewhere and has 6 months of savings to burn through. But that isn't most of you. You have built something real, a career that took years of performance and discipline to create, a life that other people depend on, standards you refuse to lower, an income that reflects the effort you've put in a long time. For someone in your position, the quit or stay framing isn't just risky, it's the wrong frame entirely. Because there's a third option that almost nobody talks about. Build alongside, in the margins, before you have a roadmap, before you have investors, before anyone around you can see what you're doing. The parallel path doesn't make headlines because it's not dramatic. Nobody turns it into a podcast episode. Nobody puts it on a stage at a conference. I woke up an hour earlier and built something real over 4 years. Doesn't trend the way I quit everything and bet all in does. But for someone who has already built a life, it is the most intelligent path available. It doesn't ask you to destroy what you've already created to build what's next. That's what I want to walk you through today. What this path actually looks like in practice and why you already have everything it requires. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the parallel path is comfortable. It isn't. It's late nights after the house goes quiet. It's early mornings that belong to the build before the workday starts. It's showing up fully at your career, delivering, performing, meeting the standard, while something else is quietly taking shape alongside it. That tension is real. Some days it's heavy. I want you to know that going in. Here's what it looked like for me specifically. I had the IN MOTU idea in 2013. I was driving on Highway 17 in Santa Cruz with my mom. The idea hit: a men's professional activewear sustainable performance first line that I knew immediately it was real. I actually teared up in the car. That's how clearly I could see it. But I didn't start building until 2016, 3 years later. When I finally started, I was still at Armani leading global creative direction. Full responsibilities, full calendar, full demands. And I was building IN MOTU alongside all of it. What made it possible wasn't finding extra time. Nobody finds extra time. What made it possible was deciding that certain windows were protected. Early mornings, weekends, the hour before the workday started. Those windows weren't negotiated, with everything else competing for them. They were decided, non-negotiable. And the single most important thing I learned from that experience is this. The people who build alongside don't have more time than you. They made a different decision about the time they already have. That's it. That's the whole thing. Now here's why I know this is possible for you specifically. You already have what this takes. I mean that. Think about it. What you already do consistently. I mean that. Think about what you already do consistently. You show up to train when you don't feel like it. You perform under pressure at work. You deliver when it counts. You hold yourself to a standard that most people around you don't fully understand. That's not a small thing. That is exactly the muscle the parallel path runs on. The parallel path doesn't ask you to become a different person. It asks you to aim for what you already are at the right thing. Think about your calendar right now. The training is in there. The work is in there. The commitments that matter to you are in there. Because at some point you decided they would be. Not wished, decided. This is one more decision. One more protected window aimed at the right thing. You don't need more willpower. You don't need a personality transplant. You don't need to wait until all the conditions are perfect. Because guess what? I promise you, they never are. You need the decision. And then you need to protect 3 windows in your week, like they're the most important appointments on your calendar. Because guess what? They are. So here's exactly what I want you to do this week. Not next month. Not when things settle down. This week, one thing. Name 3 windows in your week that could belong to this. Early mornings before the house wakes up. Your lunch hour. The hour after everything else goes quiet at night. Don't negotiate with yourself about whether it's enough time. That's not the point right now. Just name them. Write them in your calendar like an appointment you won't cancel for anyone. That's the parallel path starting. Not with a dramatic decision, not with quitting everything, with 3 protected windows and the decision to treat them like they matter. Because they do. Now, before I wrap up, I want to speak directly to the person watching this who knows exactly what that thing is. You've known for a while. The question for you isn't whether to build it. The question is how to build it inside the life you already have. And that's a specific problem that deserves a specific answer. And that's what a clarity call is for. It's free, it's 45 minutes, and you'll walk away with one clear next step. Not a list of things to think about, not a framework to research, one concrete move forward. The link to book this is in the description below, and I would really love to have a conversation with you. All right, let me leave you with this. You don't need to burn down to build what's next. You just need to protect the time and commit to the right thing. Both of these are decisions you can make this week. Not someday, this week.